Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a different format from what we've been doing for a while. I've been pretty low key with the curated content, but I had mentioned before that I am interested in wanting to get back to doing some more tips, tricks, tutorials, all those great things, and just getting the content pumped out there. Today, I haven't done this in a while. Going back to the H5 days, I actually had a series that I would call Step Up Your Game. That's what we're going to use for this title as well, to step up your game, improve your sense, your game sense, as well as your knowledge, everything surrounding the game. And what we're going to be doing is watching my own gameplay. I've got the right game for you guys to showcase some of the highlights in my gameplay to really show the rights and some wrongs of what's going on, moment to moment decision making, and so I can kind of talk through the process with you guys. This probably will be a bit longer. This is a 20-minute oddball. I'm going to fast forward through some little bits here and there, but I'm going to basically be describing my decision making throughout the entire game and just giving some insight into like why I'm doing what I'm doing. So I hope you guys enjoy. Sit back, relax, or get out the notepad if you're here to really take it serious, and let's just get right into it. So starting out, I would say a habitual thing for most players. We all kind of have our patterns for our starting strat, and I'm included in that. I like to go needles a lot. I like to bank this nade off of this doorway so I can hit these guys landing right here. Sometimes it's a little bit earlier, sometimes it's a bit later. Obviously depends on how close they are, how close I am to my position that I like to get into. But even just that little bit of damage sometimes can be a lot of damage. But nonetheless, I like to get involved really early on. So that's why you see me throw that nades, so that way I can maybe clean up an easy kill, take out some damage. I'm checking C plat and I'm checking double stack, because normally that's where people are going to be standing if they are fighting for camo. I don't see anyone, so that's why I am checking behind me. And team shot comes in. We really didn't win our fights around the map, so I get 2v1, my teammates get 2v1, 3v1, whatever's happening, we're just getting team shot. So sometimes that happens. We lose our starting strat, but it is okay. Now, Camo was still down. It's essentially lost. They're going to get it. And we're coming off respawn, but they're not getting any ball time. So things are still manageable. Start to sprint out. I was about to get some pressure, but we're getting pushed by Pronged here right away. So I'm going to make sure to turn around, get this cleanup kill, and we're just getting pushed out. They have the full advantage. I think they still have Camo somewhere right there. And they're going to utilize it. They're going to just try to be aggressive. They want to play towards ball, and that's why it gets out just like that. So it's very easy for them. Now, whenever I come off respawn, this is something that not a lot of people do. Even some pro players don't do this enough, but spawning in a location like this is a prime example of scavenging the map. I spawn out closer to, this doorway, and I can run straight out, but I turn around, take that extra second or two to actually go back for that repulse. Repulse is very good. All the equipment in this game are extremely good, so you need to put it to use. Even something like that, as simple as getting to this location like earlier, is very important. So in that moment, I heard the camo deactivate. He lost it. So here I am, and there you go. A guy with shock rifles turning the corner. He had camo shock, turns the corner. I have a repulse and a nade. I'm going to use that combination. I get an easy kill. Whenever you are coming off respawn or you are down, whether you're up or down, but especially when you're down because it's even more needed, and you don't have those inherent advantages of just like knowing where a team is spawning, having the power position, having the angles already or the team shot ready, you need to scavenge the map. This is we're 2 years into the game, so it's very much a thing that we've all harped on, we've all learned from, everyone knows. But again, it is something that goes even so subtly unnoticed in those times where it's like, I might not have won this fight right here if I did not have that repulse. So keep that in mind. So I'm getting pressured right away, got the shock in my hands. I think I actually still have one repulse left. I could be wrong, but I think the counter is not right. But me getting my initial kill as well really does help break open the map a bit. And these guys started getting desperate. That guy went to glass to come shoot me. So people are like scrambling a bit off of those kills. It really is just that first kill in a equal 4v4 team fight that really opens the map for one team and makes it so much harder for another. So that's why it really is important to make sure you get any little advantage or big advantage nonetheless at any given moment. So I got shock rifle, we got our positioning. Like, I'm going to challenge, I'm going to poke around. I have the weapon that can potentially give me insta-kills. So I'm going to be challenging a little bit harder. And especially in these situations, even though I'm one shot, I get asked a lot, like, well, why do you always challenge or are always challenging while one shot or weak? And examples like this, I think, are really good, where there's a lot of, there were some kills in our favor, but now we're starting to die and we're getting pressured. And, like, I'm in a long-range fight. Like, these fights are not that easy, especially with the new bandit. So it's like, I'm going to quickly do damage to this guy and then relocate right away, because I know it's not going to be an easy shot. Maybe some people, especially pro players, would be aware of something like this in a situation, but I'm doing damage and I want to get space. Like, I don't want to be trapped in gold here, because look at where we are. We don't need 3 of us sitting here, especially when I know that there was a guy in turbine, there was a guy in tower, there's people coming off respawn. There really should not be anyone this close to us, so I need to be the one that takes it first. This could be a point in the game right now where this guy here in gold could have done the same thing going out this way. It's a little bit harder because we're playing solo queue, so we don't actually hear these things. We kind of have to, like, trust each other in these moments and just take it by force, and hopefully it works out. Hopefully I'm not about to get double teamed or something like that. And I still get shot, I get damaged, I get melted. But another thing to make note of here is we are a little too clustered right now. This guy has been alive the entire time, and we should be trying to help each other. Like, if you're a person in this position, you're not the one moving, you need to help the person that is going to move. That's why I do kind of harp on my teammates a little bit too much at times, but that is just a fundamental thing that you kind of need to understand, is, like, you need to take action when there is a window of opportunity, and if you're not the one taking action, you need to help the person that is going to take action. Now, I didn't get any help here. I didn't necessarily need, like, some overwhelming, like, 2 or 3 of us running right next to me. I just kind of needed, in a time like this, so whenever I am getting to this position and I push it out, I'm getting shot in my side from turbine, or, like, the tower position. Like, right here. This guy is sliding out, getting active. And if my teammate also was taking a more active position, he'd probably be getting an instant kill right here. Or if he was starting to walk out a little bit because he just got his own kill, like, he would be walking out, poking around, get a quick kill here. So even if I died, he'd probably have some presence on getting a kill and then taking turbine elevator for free. That is why you need to be moving on a setup to some degree. Like, a setup is a setup for a reason, but you need the space so that way if anything goes wrong, your ball guy can actually act. Because Fierce Elite here, he's going to have to play the ball out here pretty soon, because we're just kind of doing separate stuff and taking a lot of damage for it. And the ball gets stuck in transition. Something that Fierce Elite needed to do was play that ball earlier. As soon as I died, the left side, because I went right, but the left side's not looking too good either, toss the ball out back into an open position, because if I came off respawn here and the ball was actually sitting on its respawn, they would not be getting any free time here, and I wouldn't feel as pressured to move forward. Because I'm going to just try to take advantage of, my teammates just died, so I think more of their team is going to be clustered like they are, but it still leaves me very exposed. Like, there could be people hiding. There's a guy coming off respawn who could potentially see me here, but that's exactly why this guy's going to see me and shoot me, is because, like, there was a little bit too easy of a breakdown, and I felt pressured to try to do something. This is a misplay still in the grand scheme of things whenever these things happen, where realistically I should just try to get as far out as possible, and probably not be mid here. Realistically, if I had the right window, maybe I could have hit it a little bit faster, maybe, but that's pretty much as fast as I possibly could have gone. Otherwise, I could have maybe cut earlier to just be here and wait for my teammates to spawn up, because now in a few seconds, I'm dead now, but my teammates are 2 alive, they're getting out the map. I would have already been here, maybe just can hit through turbine or elevator, or I could have just sat still here and just waited and turned around and wait. This is why, again, I harp on people and the decisions they do make, because you can find yourself in these positions and stand completely still. You can stand completely still and in a corner, turn around so that you don't have to think like, oh, why am I not getting comms, or I have no comms, so I can't make the right decision. That is not true. You have the ability to stand still and turn around to see and understand the flow of what's happening. Now, I'm not telling my teammates in solo queue right now that I need them to do this, I need them to do that, shoot this for me. That's how you normally would do it in a actual competitive game. That's just not the case right now. But I could have stood still and waited and actually found an opportunity for maybe that guy would have died or somebody else would have taken some damage, and then I would have jumped up and gone. And we all four would have been alive. Because just, again, that first kill on me does still matter enough. Forward, coming off respawn, teammates are starting to collapse. Somebody actually spawns right next to me in long haul, which I was not anticipating, which was kind of odd. But sometimes that happens. Spawns can be a coin flip, and that coin flip is not in your favor. But the ball's not in a good spot for us. We made our collapse. Things didn't really go our way. It happens. And we're just going to keep moving forward. Saint made it out of gold. We're doing some damage. He's still getting cleaned up. Like, we're still kind of struggling right now. This is another point of just, whenever things are going bad, try not to make things worse. So, whenever I'm dying, ball got out. Saint is, like, trying to stay alive, but realistically, it's like he knows there's somebody in gold. I think he does, because that's where he was. I think he ran away from the fight there. And he knows those people are there. Like, he needs to get out of the middle of the map as quickly as possible, as best as he can, or at least attempt to, because there's certain positions like this that are just going to get you killed if you just stay there for too long and they already know you're there. He has made one shot. He's made weak. He's just going to sit there and not really move. Or again, he's actually still playing it well, but if he just doesn't poke here while one shot, this is one of those times where you're just completely surrounded and no one can help you. There's no real reason to chow this. He might have actually had an opportunity to get his shields back, and then he would have poked, but, you know, he got his shields reset, and then he challenged. And those separation of deaths really make things hard. And now, you know, Tower was getting pushed out, and he's getting shot in the back and getting shot in the front, and now we're on another cycle. This is the vicious cycle that happens plenty, that you have to really be careful of. So I'm also trying to just salvage a kill and do what I can, but I just walked into a fight that, you know, was not so winnable at the very beginning. So it's like, do what you can, try to stay alive as best you can, because you really just need more of you alive on the team to make something work. So I spawn up glass. I'm going to get into gold because I want to make sure that I'm not too exposed, but I'm taking over a good position here as quickly as possible. And I see that there's, you know, ball there. I hear a guy bat ledge. That's 2 people. I think I saw on the kill feed that we killed that one guy silo. So there's one guy missing. I know I had like 3 people accounted for, essentially. So I'm going to take my chances getting into gold easily because I don't see anyone, you know, top elevator, bottom elevator, trying to hit that cross. So that's why you see me openly challenge here first, do some damage, and then I'm going to try to cut it quickly and catch this guy off guard and force him out. Because I want to be in this position. I want to force this guy out so that my teammates can hopefully see this guy. And they actually get messed up pretty easily. That guy just jumps out and dies. And, you know, we're kind of doing separate plays here, which is why I feel like this situation can be a bit iffy. You know, I make it out and luckily get my kill, but I'm certain I'm going to take some damage here. Yeah, and then my grapple, I just happen to mess up the grapple. I get killed pretty easily. Luckily, we are getting ball time, though, so overall, the situation is still relatively good. Off of the initial damage and initial kill that we got, we had a pretty overwhelmingly good push no matter what we did. We just took our space, got our kills, and, you know, we're in a solid enough setup. Wacky wasn't watching his own cross, really. We're kind of stacked up in tower, or elevator tower side, but, you know, we're getting the right damage, so I'm just going to try to take my fight into gold, win it. This is why, again, you want to try to take as much space reasonably as you can at the right times. Because I know there's a guy in gold, so that, at least for me, is an advantage in a gunfight, knowing pre-aiming on these corners. That's why you're going to see me looking where I am. And, like, I wasn't even perfectly centered, but I was at least close enough that I didn't have to wave my aim around too much. But I want to take this space on gold. That way, I think you'll see me take this angle just to kind of peek out. Like, I check my gold real quick to make sure there's not a second guy, but I'm going to get information for these other guys that are getting our ball time. And I think I noticed that we died. I think we went a little bit too hard over here, and we lost our fight a little early. But I happen to catch a guy who is out in the open. That's why you want these positions. You want these top power positions that look into the middle of the map, look into the open space of the map, because this is what's going to be the most important angles. This is the easiest routes if you have the right timings. If no one catches you running through middle, it's usually the most direct and unexpected routes compared to, you know, one catwalk or one doorway that you find yourself in, such as here, where you're just walking through. This is very predictable in a sense. At certain times, it can be very unpredictable, but it's just like, well, all you have to really account for is one open doorway. Whereas, you know, there's this huge open space that is very fast of an angle to cut through at the right times. That's why you want those positions, like I was just explaining them. So all of this alone was very big on allowing me to catch that guy off guard. We die with ball, but it almost doesn't matter all too much. And that guy actually luckily cut the angle well enough and got a good shot on me to close out that kill. But I feel like we were a little slow to kind of catch in here, but we do our damage, we get a cleanup, and things are okay. They're not the greatest, but this is a good example here too of not really being on the same page. Fierce Elite here and Wacky are together, but they're not together. This isn't like you see these numbers and you think, oh, this is a 2v1 scenario, but it isn't really. It's like they make it in and like it's a 2v1 here, but everything else, they're essentially like splitting themselves. They are kind of looking in the same direction, but the fact of the matter that his body, everyone's placing their bodies where they are, one on a completely different level without watching his back, and then one still staying up top while looking in the same direction. That means you have a blind spot. And that's exactly what happens here. Sometimes unaccountable or unaccounted for, but again, whenever you are cleaning up kills or getting some momentum, you really need to make sure you have to just have that forethought, that sixth sense of like, there could be, like, what are the possibilities? What else could be happening? Could there be someone closer? And if like you need to make sure, because like I think we're checking our first possibility is like, is there someone turbine? But then like the next thought should be, is there someone close to me bottom elevator? Because we never were there in the first place. And the entire time too, it's like Wacky never turn because, and like neither of them can really help each other at this point. They're too committed. They committed to their ideas way too early on. I mean, Wacky at least does get a kill. That is nice. So he at least got that one kill. But again, best play, maybe not, but still good enough. Things are relatively even in terms of like tempo. Camo's coming up. Ball is still down. I see that Camo, like he snagged it. I'm going to get down there quickly. I end up getting myself a double. That should be essentially a 3v2. Looks like Fierce Elite actually just died. So it's a 2v2. It's an even fight. Really, it's a 2v1 with a ball guy. Ball guy can drop ball at any given moment, but he is out of the fight, essentially. He's just rotating with the ball. So we kind of need to see what the team is doing. And Saint, I think, is taking a little bit too much time to actually get involved. Because he is pretty close to Wacky, but he's just kind of standing still. It's okay. This is pretty unfortunate, that guy having a grapple, but this is why you need to try to be as quick as possible. And this is a good example as well as whenever I kill two people, when I did here in mid, and there's only two people alive and one of them is a ball guy, this is a good example of a time to maybe take your chances, a calculated risk, as you might hear me say more in the future about a play like this, where there's not many opportunities for you to dive very quickly out in the open of the map. So this is why, like, I wish Saint here, and maybe even Wacky, like, Wacky didn't really need to go take this longer route going back to ball, to goal. Like, obviously he's distracting him, but he's getting, like, kind of cut off from his own teammate, and they can't work together, and enough times pass that these guys who were out of the play are now back in the play. So this is, again, a good callback to what happened before, where it is really good to take advantage of these middle routes, these middle spaces, so that you can actually get active way earlier. Because if they both just ran through and maybe jumped up batteries to top gold, they might have just killed ball guy for free, and then they would have seen that guy grappling into bat ledge for free, like, because that guy came in from mid. And, you know, we're all in weird cycles right now. Like, Fierce Elite was dead, comes off respawn. Wacky, like, just died. Come off respawn, win a fight. It looks like my teammate did the same. He came off respawn, won a fight. Fierce Elite spawned across the map and dies, but again, we're getting those kills and we're a wave across the map. We're moving forward that way. We can't just stand still tower here. We don't want them spawning closer to the ball or like standing back towards elevator. We want them spawning elevator here. They need to spawn away from the OBJ. That is our goal. That is why you see me be as aggressive as I am. And, you know, we get our kills, we get some space, and I'm going to get ball time off of it. Now, Wacky is out there and gets a kill, and look at that. Like, he's creating space out in the open. That's this, again, where we had all those kills and all that pressure. You can be the team in that advantage state to kind of push your limits a bit more. You don't want it to go too crazy, but as long as like one guy is doing it like he was, then that's okay. I don't know if Fierce Elite really needs to be forcing it, because them two being there right now could essentially be, not a proper setup, but he's just helping a teammate. They're able to get a 2v1 going pretty easily, and they take over elevators. So this, again, turns into a good play. And I recognize that we're leaving tower, like this tower side entirely, so I'm leaving long haul. I don't want to be, on the edge of the setup with ball here, so that I'm the man taking the brunt of the push. I want to kind of be cradled in between my team, like so. So I want my guy to be here, and I want to be in between. And Wacky actually wants to take ball from me, so good on him. Love that. Appreciate it. I don't know if that's really necessary. I would say, like, in a real game, this would not happen. It is better if these two players stay pushed out kind of together. As an example, like, it'd be better if Wacky stays here, like stays in this zone, so he can catch a guy like this, or he'll be sitting here just kind of waiting so he can get across with that guy. And then he's also watching these angles, watching mid, catching them really early. That is why these positions and these tempo points in the game are so important, where you can just put your boot on the neck. Like, it's trying to put that invisible pressure of, like, I'm coming off respawn and getting shot as soon as I turn a corner. Like, that's the kind of pressure you want right away, and it makes people that much more nervous. But we don't really get that because, sometimes for the better, obviously I like it when people want to take the ball from me at times, like so, but it really is a better opportunity to, like, I'll eventually get to this position with ball anyway, and if he was standing further out, I'll be able to help him, he'll be able to help me, he'll be able to help, Fierce Elite over here too, and we probably would have had a stronger hold of the map. That's why you really do not want to turtle. You don't want to turtle in a setup, otherwise these types of situations happen. Now we're triple in gold, and we don't really have a setup. Like, this isn't a setup. This is a desperate, defense. This guy took a little bit too much damage. He's just kind of challenging to death. Wacky's not paying attention. He's getting killed, like, pretty easily. The ball never gets played out. So no one's really paying attention here as much as they really should be. Like, he takes the ball away from my hands, but he's just kind of staring at the wall. Like, he's not doing too much. When you're ball guy, you still should be active with your eyes. Even if you're not communicating, you should still be trying to, get somewhere or have eyes on something. Because, like, this side is completely clear and completely, like, open. We know that. So, like, maybe you should be sitting on the nades right here, just kind of watching this angle. But instead, he's beating down the wall. You don't want to be beating down the wall whenever this is going on. Or, like, whenever you need to be doing something that's complimentary. You don't need to be staring at walls here. Your teammate's dying right next to you, and you're completely unaware to it. Completely unaware to it. He's just throwing nades just to throw nades at this point because he's, like, just thinking, like, oh, I'm just going to nade a doorway. You need to already be proactive on keeping track of the doorways. On top of our setup is getting broken, you should be playing the ball out. The ball should be sitting, like, right next to me in this open space. So keep that in mind if you are that ball guy. Another good example, basically what happened to me earlier that I made note of in the middle of the map. I die. Those guys are coming off respawn. They had their setup. Fierce Elite is trying to hit it right away, which, they have 10 seconds, so we kind of have to. There's no real, like, waiting around for the entire team to spawn up. But this is, again, just kind of notes about how difficult these middle routes can be, so you have to find the right timings. You don't need to just, like, feel the right timings. You need to know the right timings. You need to know why this angle could or could not be used. But again, this is more of like a desperate, like, need at this point, so it's okay. It's going to happen. So they win the round off that. All good, all good. We're going to come off our normal start, like I said, pick it up, trying to get camo, and just get knocked out. Teammates are, I don't know what happened in here. Need to kind of see where everyone went, because the breakdown was pretty instantaneous. I got Fierce Elite with me. One guy hits tower. One guy's hitting gold. One thing I will say about starting strats too is, like, it really is important for prioritization. This is, like, a drawback of solo queue. I don't really know that this guy wants to play this deep into gold, but I feel like this is kind of common sense stuff that people need to start recognizing, especially for their starting strats, is, like, there are more important and more pressing things. Like, people are not going to get to shock very quickly, and even if you get there, you are most likely getting shot pretty easily. So it's like, win the fight in middle first, at least with some damage, and make sure, like, we get some help here. Because if I get that kill, And instead of being deep into gold, Saint Laurent is walking out gold here, and he's shooting this guy. I probably don't die, and Fierce Elite can also be a lot more active as well, and he would still eventually get to shock anyway. Instead, if we're fighting separate fights, he trades. He trades. We're not getting camo, and like my teammate in tower also died. It's like we go 4 dead and they get camo. So it's just a little bit too easy of a breakdown. So you need to be proactive. You need to be preemptively making the right calls on where you want to place yourself. Now, camo guy's here. Okay, yeah, we actually do. Fierce Elite made a really good play, won his gunfight, got a 3-shot melee, and I was also coming to help him at that time, thinking that, you know, he might die, but gets that kill. Again, those kills make a huge difference. Shock guys, like, jumping up and down on the bat ledge, throw an easy, like, predictable nade just in case, and he does jump right into it. You know, we pick up shock, get into our position. Again, I'm in this position. I'm going to cut right into the middle of the map. That way I can see what is going on. No one's cutting early. If someone's out here, I'm going to easily shoot them. Or if someone's down here, I'm going to easily shoot them. That is why you see me take this angle. I'm going to miss some shots. But again, I want to try to still take some space, and I don't really realize at the time that, like, these guys are actually this far out. So this is, again, the good point of why you need to be in these positions when you can afford them. Because once Wacky is here, he's holding his cross angle as he needs to be, and he's getting that damage. It's the same with Fierce Elite 2 as well. Like, he's in a really good position to lay down some shots. He sees that I'm out there, and he's going to support me. It doesn't mean I need him to kill people for me. I just need him to do a little bit of damage. Because the fact that this guy won top gold can't just easily push me makes all the difference that I can then confidently push. And especially push with, like, my grapple, so I'm able to get some quick kills. You know, 2 dead. I have shock. I think I heard in a call that, like, oh, he's gold stairs. So I'm looking for this guy, and he's just kind of in there. So I can afford to also jump out the way that I did because of my equipment. So again, another example of make sure you have these equipments, make sure you use them. That is why you can be a little bit more dangerous and a little bit more active with certain ways you are playing. Because, like, I have 2 dead, like, I want to look for kills. I want to make sure that we're getting 3 dead, 4 dead, if possible. And then if I mess up, I have, you know, the arsenal to make up for that. That's why you see me drop. And then even though I get shot once, I'm instantly grappling in. I'm not trying to, like, slow turn to see who's shooting me and then shoot and then try to grapple out. It's like, no, I messed up. I'm going to just accept that right away and then grapple out. And I know there's a guy in gold, so I'm going to try to close out this kill with my teammates and see what's going on here. Unfortunately, I'm weak enough, so we trade. I also don't just, like, hit the headshot, so it happens. Do what damage I can. There you go. That's, again, why it is really important to always cut your angles whenever you're in these corner positions, because if I'm full head-on, like, I just want to run at this, I don't know what else is going on in here. I can assume there's probably more people. There's not always going to be 3 people in tower, 2 of them surrounding ball. But especially early in the game, like, I don't need to desperately run at that one-shot guy for that ball when someone also is just easily standing out here. Like, I just want to try to get that kill quickly and move on. If I did not get that last shot on that guy, I would not have stayed there that long, because then I'm exposed, people hear me shooting. Like, I'm just going to try to take my chances over here and shoot this ball guy anyway. Which, again, these guys are not really prepared to defend their teammate. They're trying to essentially go on the offense as their defense. They're trying to push out away from their ball guy, creating space, while I'm going underneath. So I actually do catch them off guard. You know, they get some time, they got a good enough rotation, but we're stopping them from getting anything secure. Fight's over. I'm going to scavenge some more. I'm near the repulse. I'm way far away from anything else. My teammates are doing their own thing. It's like, I can take the time now to grab that repulse. Go grab it. That's exactly why I do that. Camo's coming up. I need to play for it. And I'm just going to try to cut it right away and hope that my teammates would help me, which they do. But I'm just going to kind of let things simmer a little bit here. So my teammates here, like, these guys, like, they're not even going for ball. So I would say this is definitely a misplay, and this is something important to note because, again, something important is coming up. We had some pressure, some presence, and we gave it all up. This guy, like, pushed into turbine. He wants to start shooting spawners while Camo's coming up. No, you need to be getting a grapple, you know, standing over the Camo, fighting. You know, you can still fight the elevator guys or shoot the spawners, but make sure that you're shooting them because they're coming to you rather than you going to them when something is important right next to you coming up. And it's the same with this gold guy here, top gold. Like, he did not need to go all the way into gold stairs this early, especially when a Camo's coming up. Like, he could stay closer right here and get the same exact impact. But again, sometimes people just play a little too cautious. Like, the camo's coming up in less than 5 seconds. You need to make sure you're getting active around it. I mean, Wacky does turn the corner from bat ledge to lay down some shots, but then he's cutting it. Like, you shouldn't... This is a time where you need to be more selfless. You need to make sure that whatever you're doing, you are helping your team secure the overall objective, which A, should be the ball, or B, should be the camo, because there was a couple people dead. We had a lot of advantage in our pocket there, but we did not utilize it properly. Like, I should not be easily getting... I'm, staying alive pretty long here. But the fact that he cut himself off, top goal guy's cutting himself off to most angles, I should not be dying as easily as I am. This is a prime example of, I feel like something that people don't utilize enough is just kind of understanding your advantages in the moment. This is kind of harder to recognize at times. But, like, I am out and super exposed, and, like, I hit my first shot at a similar time as this guy, as Juan here. But I'm also, like, I whiffed a shot, and, like, I'm a little bit shaky in the moment because I wasn't really ready for this fight. If you have that feeling in a gunfight, it is really good to just, like, let them shoot you while you still have shields so that you can get away. Especially right here, it's like, this guy can make it to me, but I can easily cut this corner and, like, just leave the engagement entirely and make him push me and expose himself more for a situation like this so that my teammates can then get involved for me. And then when I know my teammates are getting involved, that's when I can come back in and then take advantage of the chaos in the moment. All while that's going on, we stay alive, get our kills, teammates are fighting for ball, and we're able to kind of come in and capitalize. Just a little passing note. It's so easy if someone has a little bit of patience with their shock rifle shots. Whenever you jump, it is the easiest shot in the world. So even though I saw that he was weak, I should have played a little bit further back. I should have fallen back to just try to get myself an angle. And if I couldn't kill him, I couldn't kill him. I should have just left it at that. Don't jump in your gunfights against shock rifle. It is pretty much a guaranteed death. A lot of you probably already know that, but it's just good to remind yourself of, like, how easy it is, and even, like, how in a gunfight I've pretty much had all the advantage in the world from a shields perspective, but all it takes is that one shot. Come in, I die. We're going to keep just kind of cutting through a little bit. A new camo's coming through. We're losing the round currently, so we've been struggling just a bit. Catch this shock rifle guy off guard. I was taking my time. I was kind of checking my corners, and I think I happened to hear him throwing a grenade or pick up some grenades, so that's why I turned around. Get a shock rifle, get the camo. Again, you got to make sure you're always playing for these objectives. You always see me when this camo is coming up. You always see me at least gravitating towards the camo. Unless my entire team is dead, I'm at that point probably not playing close to the camo. But pretty much throughout this entire video, you have seen me down here in this pit fighting for this camo pretty much every single time. That is what you need to be doing pretty much every single time, or that is your goal. That is obviously your goal, and it's one of those things, like, people always ask, like, oh, what can I do better? This. You need to be consistent about it, and if you're not, you need to address that and understand that there is a right and wrong time to know, like, okay, I can't or I don't need to be fighting for it. So this is kind of a smaller thing, and it's kind of obvious when you point it out, but a lot of people don't utilize it this way. If you have a clear-cut advantage with a camo like this, you really can afford to be in a exposed state. Because I'm seeing where these guys are at really early, so I can really prepare for the best possible shot whenever I see someone like this. That's why you see me take a little bit of time. And if I happen to miss this shot, or mess up even a little bit, I can get to cover pretty quickly. Like, I can back up to the batteries, or I can just get to caution here quickly with, like, a slide or something. And I know my teammates are... Wacky's not really in the prime position to help me because he's actually turning around. She doesn't need to be. But this is still a prime example of, like, I try to go for my shot. I do happen to hit it, but I'm going straight into cover. I'm making sure I'm hiding right away to, like, re-camo myself and not give the other team any chance of seeing me. Missed my shot, but at least I think I did a little bit of damage just in that moment. And I'm still standing out in the open. Again, you really want to try to push your influence that much further onto the other team when you can. That's why you see me walking forward like this. That's why you see me this far out with the camo shock, because I think someone did get long haul by me. Yeah, he did actually get by, so that was kind of lucky. I got my first kill on C-Plat, and then I looked left, and then another guy happened to cut right. So that is fortunate for them and unfortunate for me. But that is why, like, again, I'm still doing the same thing. Somehow not a headshot. All good. We do get the pressure on this man on glass. I'm still out here, and I'm able to get involved with that fight right away, too. Now, as you see, we've gotten like our 30, 40 seconds, and I'm still putting pressure. I'm not just backing up just because I've exposed myself a few times. Like, I'm not going to back up. I'm not going to back up fully or, like, go to bat ledge or go to top gold to, like, get in the generic setup. It's like, if you have these advantages, just make sure you're playing your shields, playing your angles properly so that you can, you know, keep yourself in the right spot. Because it's almost like checkmate in some of these situations. Like, even if they have a contingency, like they can shoot their guns back at you a little bit, it's like even if you fail, you're still like succeeding because you're getting the right damage, you're getting the right information really early, and then you still stay alive. And in the best possible situation like this can happen where we just got like 3 kills over the course of like 15, 20 seconds, and now we're the team winning, and we were just down like 20 or 30 points. And so this is, again, a little bit of an off angle or a little bit interesting of a situation, but we rotated the ball. The guy's in gold, and I see that we're also out towards glass. I told Fierce Elite to go out towards glass because we don't really need to hold the generic setup. This is how you actually get, you know, some more overwhelming pressure at times. Is like you need to have some off angles. You need to have some change up. It's like you don't expect to have someone sitting right here, or even maybe sitting right here, or even right here sometimes to catch, you know, people coming out bottom mid earlier, coming out hitting long haul early, and then having this cross angle right here. And that's why I call that guy out weak. Instant kill off respawn. The guy just he probably feels like he can't move. He's like, I just ran out the door and then I'm dead. So it's like that's the type of pressure that you want to be applying very consistently as early as possible when you find these opportunities. That is how you win games, and that's how you win games handedly. I see that we, you know, died in Turbine. We gave that angle up. It's okay. Fierce Elite is fighting this guy long haul. He's calling him out. So I'm going to make the rotation. We are completely rotating. My teammate Saint here, he's making a perfect play. He is moving the ball. He's not standing still the entire time. He knows, again, this is why you want your ball guy cradled in between people, because Wacky, who was elevator, he was the first line of defense. That line of defense is down. I'm going to go move to the rest of my defense, my line of defense here. Makes a perfect rotation. I don't know if he really needed to drop the ball, but it's okay. Yeah, I mean, he probably could have made it a little bit faster, so it wasn't like the perfect play, but it was okay. Like, him playing ball is okay here because we're getting the collapse in on this guy. Kill him. Wacky's coming off respawn. These guys die. Like, Fiercely was going to die anyway. Like, he made the right play, lived as long as he could. Saint probably could have made a little bit better play, rotating the ball a bit earlier. But I'm still here putting pressure. I see that Wacky's out here. I'm going to just try to cut early because I know, you know, I just killed 1 or 2 guys. You know, my teammate's getting pushed. I just know where 2 guys were. So it's like I know relatively that these guys are focused on, like, the long haul side. I know they're focused on long haul side, or they're just coming off respawn, so they can't really catch me that early. That's why you see me cut as quickly as possible, again, to throw off their timing, throw off their perception of, like, what the situation is. They just think they left a weak guy long haul, and he should still be long haul, like, waiting. That's why, like, it's important to understand, because I know in this moment that there's not going to be a guy, or I shouldn't say there's not, there's a very low probability of a guy standing top cat right now based off of the information that I already knew. Again, I know there's a ball guy, I know there's a glass guy, I know there's a guy in tower. That's 3 people accounted for. I just have to make sure that, or I have to, like, essentially, again, take that calculated risk that I know there might be 1 person that can catch me. And that guy does still catch me, but I'm going to just fight the ball guy because I see he's standing in a weird-ass spot. So I'm going to cut this early, and I'm cutting the angle from the only person that I know in the moment can really catch me. And that was him. And that guy hears the shots. He's confused, like he's looking around. And here I am, 1 shot. I know that there's damage, and I know I can push this. Or at least I try to push it. So it happens, but that's the give and take, the push and pull of these engagements where, you know, you're weaving in and out of fights in different spots to create that confusion so that your teammates can capitalize off of you and I can capitalize off of them. That's why it's very important to move in your setups, in your gunfights, and not just staying too stagnant. Sometimes staying completely still is the perfect play, but there are plenty more plays in the playbook. So you gotta have a, you know, open mind to those different aspects. And, you know, there is a lot of good damage dealt right now. So we're in a pretty good advantage state for the most part, even though it doesn't seem like it. Like, them being kind of weak and kind of confused on, like, what exactly to do while the ball is out. We're up 30 points. Camo's coming up soon towards us. It's like they have to make the plays. They have to do more. That's why you see me kind of bait this open space. we were calling out the guy on battery, so I'm like trying to look around for him, but then I'm also aware like there could be a guy behind me, so then I check it. I started shooting for a little too long, so I'm like, okay, I'm going to try to check it. So I'm trying to give the guy the wiggles a little bit. I do my damage, but we're not really able to capitalize off of it. We were playing for Camo at that point. Another great example of when I say, like, you know, there's damage dealt, I know in my mind, like, there was a potential that people could be spawning silo, which I think they eventually do. But I know the kills on the kill feed, and I know there's a guy on ball. I know there's a guy down bottom middle. Like, I'm going to take my chances going straight through mid just like this to chase that kill, but then, like, I'm going to check my corner and then instantly go after ball. It's like the same thing I did earlier, jumping up caution to look at that guy gold stairs. It's like they're leaving their ball guy wide open. Their defense is actually an offense that they're sending straight forward, maybe past me, the guy that's cutting through. So, fortunately, could not clean up the kill right away, but did the damage, got the assist, and got a second kill, and I'm able to just grab ball and back up. So, this is a little bit different situation. Still the same situation. You see me do my starting strat that I like to do. I actually messed up my grenade, because there would have been a guy still in that same spot, because he's doing his starting strat that he likes to do. But I see that he's running in, he's one shot. I'm not going to chase that kill. That guy does not matter. What matters the most is Camo. This is going to lead to me. You know, I could chase this one singular kill, but then there's potentially 2 more people that are going to instantly melt me for even trying to go for this guy. So it's like, I'm going to take my opportunity. I see, you know, blue pipes and C plat wide open, not getting shot from tower. That's why you see me grab this, and I'm checking my back. I'm watching these angles the entire time. I'm looking blue pipes. I see this guy's weak, and these guys are, you know, these guys are coming out with, like, no information. They just hear shots, and that's the best thing about these moments. Like, they kind of have an idea, but they don't really have the full picture about where to look exactly. And we're able to kind of capitalize off of some of this. I just see that we're not getting these damage, or getting kills off of those damage values over there, so I'm like, I'm just going to cut. And I think I remember this, actually, where I thought I could make this happen, get my kill. Guy just had some good shots. This is, again, where he had a lot more information at this point in the gunfight, and he was able to capitalize off of it. So I think, like, Wacky could have maybe made a better play. Like, he should be more aggressive right now. Whenever you see teammates, like, out here doing things, like, fuck watching your closest angles at this point. Like, get involved on what the other team is doing, especially when you know your teammate has an advantage. Like, if I have camo, or if I have shock, or rockets, or sniper, or whatever it is, and over shield, don't be this guy that's just, like, spinning in circles, taking forever. Like, get involved, and get involved early. Luckily, though, it's good enough. The damage was dealt that, like, he's able to get a free couple kills, but it's like, again, the tempo is just kind of off at that point. And again, I could have made a different play. I just thought I had more help. But I should more so assume that I don't have the help, because I can just get my camo. I should have done what I did earlier in the game, where I stay behind for an extra second, get my full camo, and then challenge out, because he got me early. Also, ball guy had shock. I think I realized it a little too late, but important thing, I could have just grabbed shock, had camo, instant setup, I'm still alive. Things to consider. There's a lot of variables that go into it. You got to consider all of them. When we talk about a setup, we talk about being really far pushed out. This is essentially like I'm given a very far pushed out angle. I see my teammate all the way across the map. We essentially have a diagonal. We have a diagonal on, like, the square of this map. I don't need to be going all the way in here by myself. I want them to push me at this point. It'd be different if I spawned, like, top gold all the way here. Then I'd still kind of want to, like, maybe move out a bit, like maybe get a sneaky angle, so again, I can kind of have that pressure off of their closest doorways. But it was instantly given to me. That's why you're going to see me pop in a corner. Like, there's just no reason to chow that. Get some easy kills. These guys are getting desperate. People are jumping out too early. I'm just going to put some pressure, and then I'm going to go back. I don't really, you know, it's either go forward or go back. You don't need to stay in the middle too long. You only need to use this middle space on any of these maps when there is a reason to use it. Otherwise, you kind of become a sitting duck. That's why this guy's still looking around. He's, like, wondering where I'm at. Like, I know I heard a guy. Like, something's going on. Maybe he's below me. That's why you kind of see him looking around, just checking his corners. That's exactly what you want. You want people to burn time. And I came back. I heard a shock rifle had my name on it. So I got handed a shock rifle. I backed up. And here I am looking around. Camo's coming up, so that's another point. That's why you're seeing me again. I'm going to fade back into the camo play Even though, like, maybe I could have pushed out gold. Maybe the ball is right there, so maybe I want to go forward with it. No. I want this camo. Because more than likely, this camo is going to be way more impactful. This guy went really deep for me, and I remember being a little upset in the moment that I didn't really get the help that I needed. So I get camo, I kill a guy, I almost kill a second guy, and then I kill the second guy, and we're still just standing around. Like, there is no need. We can't, like, Fiercely here can't just stay here. If anything, like, try to fight that guy, but then cut and shoot this guy. Cut the angle, shoot this guy. Again, there are certain bigger picture plays that just need to happen earlier where you cut an angle so that you can help your teammates in these more impactful moments. Because if I stayed alive with camo, which I almost did, I think there was another guy here too, wasn't there? Was it Wacky? Yeah, Wacky's here too. Again, he is sectioning himself off. He was tower, and he could be getting more involved forward and in the middle of the map and still be accomplishing the same goal of, like, he wants to work towards elevator. But again, he's sectioning himself off, and, like, he gets involved in the fight, but he's just way too late. Just involved way too late. Things are still okay, but it could be a lot better. You need to make sure that you're playing for these situations to keep your power weapons, power-up guy alive. But we're getting some good time. This round is overwhelmingly going in our favor. I'm just going to take that fight. Bandit fights long range are definitely some of the harder fights to take now at this point, so just checking if this guy is going to chow out a little early, get some damage. I'm not too focused. Again, I'm doing my damage and I'm moving because we're actually losing the ball in this engagement. I'm meeting up with my team in the mid and I'm cutting angles. And since I got weak and cut my angles, this guy felt desperate. He's like, I want to get this kill, so he's going to slide out early and do exactly this. Like, he gets some damage, get his kills, but, you know, I was ready to get involved. We can kind of see with my gameplay this game, like, it's possible during those gunfights. Those lanes and those routes really can allow you to sneak underneath people. Guy jumps out, hit it perfect. And I'm not really getting that much help for some reason. This guy's just kind of standing out in the open. Again, like, you can definitely tell whenever I'm harping on some of these things. We get that first kill and this guy's weak. Certain, like, things like this, you don't really need to stay this focused. Like, he got the 3 shots. He got some damage. He's got a good nade. There's 2 people dead. Like, you can afford to be walking forward here. You're full shields. You got a weak guy with ball trapped in a corner. Like, this is the time to be aggressive. I probably could have easily melted this guy with my teammate. We don't. Gets the kill, and, like, we're still moving forward. Again, I'm going to always be talking about a lot of, like, the perfect plays or, like, the overall plays that are very available. Like, these are not crazy. That's kind of crazy, though, going straight for that ball after all of that. He was playing super defensive. Got his kills and then just soared out for it. But we don't really need to be desperate for that ball jumping out in the open in these moments. Just kind of need to play the time. I think, yeah, this was an example of me not paying enough attention. So I think I could not hear what was going on over here. Yeah, I was too focused on what was going on forward. Should have checked the Needler guy. Actually helped out there. Prime example of a misplay. Not helping a teammate. He loses his PIV gunfight. I lose mine, get melted, like team shotted. That's exactly what happens. A lot of damage, but again, the damage is not being capitalized on as well as it really could be. I'm not really going to chase that kill. And I think I got a blank melee. But again, I'm making sure I'm not chasing these kills too desperately because I know that they actually have numbers. I know there's enough time so they can be in some good angles. I'm not just jumping out to my death to get these kills. I don't need to do that. Fierce Elite also, Camo was coming up, so I'm not really trying to move and take too much damage too early. Fierce Elite gets Camo, burns it, but that's still very favorable for us. They're down 36 with 25 seconds left. Come off respawn, instantly able to look right at ball. Guy's getting desperate. I was a little desperate because I want to try to do some damage, but yeah, things started to get a little dicey here. We were looking at different things at different times, and people were walking out in the open on us. Teammates somehow hit goal, but we weren't really able to, you know, capitalize on the 2v1 or 2v2 in here. This is a prime example of, like, things are kind of going to shit, and they know where we are, being Turbine. So I'm just going to go out into the open. My teammates are spawning across the map, able to see me, so I'm just going to cut here. This is very lucky that that guy did not actually look at me, but Again, this is those calculated risks because I knew if I went straight into this corridor here, I was probably gonna get easily naded. And I was gonna be running straight into a 2v1. Maybe there's a combo waiting for me. Maybe there's a shock rifle. Maybe there's a whole bunch of things just easily able to kill me coming from this low, L-shaped 90-degree angle. I'd rather take my chances getting into the middle of the map amidst the chaos and then do what I do here. Just getting in early, getting that 3-shot melee, and then just dropping that ball out. We have 15 seconds. I'm playing time. We're up by 4. I think I can definitely, wait the 15 seconds out, and if they happen to touch the ball, we'd be able to melt anybody. Don't really need wacky on batteries with us, but it's okay. It's a pretty good strafe, so we trade out. There you have it. That's the end of it. Just playing that defense for the last few seconds in playing time. But that's it for me. That was a much longer video. I think we're going to hopefully condense it down a bit, but there was, I think, a lot of good information in there for you guys. Hopefully you really enjoyed the rundown, and tell me if you like the format. I think I'll do more of these, but I'll probably try to keep these more condensed. Oddball, I really honestly was not anticipating being on this video for as long as it was, because it's a 20-minute game, but that is a lot to talk about like it was. So just let me know what you guys think. Hopefully you enjoyed, and I'll see you all on the next one. Peace, guys.